the next
And now
person
your host,
and figure out what
Noreen
that is
McClendon.
so that it can be taken care of. Because that gives you the best opportunity when people come together. Two healthy people coming together gives you the best chance for a healthy relationship. I don't like to talk in terms of good and bad relationships because consenting adults can consent to whatever they want to consent to as long as they're not hurting anybody. So what may be good for you may not be good for me. I like to use the example Shirley Ralph and her husband have been married for some years, but they've never lived together in the same house. And it's because he has a political career in Pennsylvania and she has an acting career here, but they make it a point that they come together at least every 2 weeks so that they can, be a husband and wife. And I saw a lot of young people saying, "Oh, that's not a marriage. That's not a marriage." Oh no, it's a marriage. As you get older, you just don't need that constant day to day.
But that's a marriage for them. That's not a marriage for everybody. Everybody marriages, relationships, everybody look at everything different. If they're happy with it,
I love
for them.
For them, exactly.
It might don't work for you. And let it be that.
Exactly.
You can't say what it's not, but it
Right.
don't work for you.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It just don't work.
Right. And like you say, to say that it's not a marriage is just like
say that because they are married. They
Right.
are married. They are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. They just live separate. That doesn't mean they're not married.
Right.
He doing this, she doing that.
Right. Exactly.
I live in the house with somebody, we was doing this, he was doing that, and we was married too. It's true.
It is what it is, right? But consenting adults can consent to whatever relationship they want. There's no rule, hard and fast rule of it's gotta look like this. So
a marriage has to look a certain kind of way.
Right. No, it doesn't. But there does need to be union for it to actually be a marriage. Because I can tell you this, there are too many people that I look at their relationships and I say it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. They've been unhappy for years and years and years on end. And I could not be in those situations with them. I could not be in a situation where it's like we're roommates. If I'm going to live in the house, first of all, living with somebody requires a lot, especially for somebody that's been single for a while. It requires sharing space. It requires consideration. And oftentimes we're not, if we're not doing that, I would only want to do that with somebody that I really care about or that I really am interested in being with. Why? Because it requires too much of me. And like I talked to you guys this weekend, I was home alone, didn't do anything, and it was perfectly fine for me. It was perfectly fine for me. For some people, that would drive them insane just to be at home and have nobody to talk to. So at the end of the day, it really is not about, in other words, there's no one set way for people to function. There is no one set way. There's no one set way to have a relationship. But what I do know that is important in every relationship, as we started off, and that is communication. Effective communication is important. We have to have so again, when you get in a situation where you don't want to talk about it, that's the time to talk about it. That's the time to talk about it. That is normally where it's really important that you talk about it. And it's normal. And if you think about it, and I'm asking you guys, when you moving forward, what I want you to do is pay attention to how you feel in those moments and hear my voice saying, no, this is the time to talk. This is the time to say it. Yeah, tell the people. Tell the people.
Don't hold it in.
Right. Tell the other person how you feel. And again, I will say it is normally when it relates to us being vulnerable. It's when we don't want to look like a sucker. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to look like no sucker.
But you have to learn your feelings matter too.
Yes.
Your feelings do matter too.
Yes.
And you have to always make sure whatever you're doing that you know that too.
Yeah.
So if you don't make yourself feel it, then how somebody else gonna feel it? Yeah. Even if you're not saying anything, but trust me, if you're showing it, they're okay. They think twice, like, no, I ain't gonna say that to her, that might hurt her. But you already showed me that, so I would never say that to you.
Right.
But make sure you let yourself know and other people know your feelings matter too. They do. Say
we
something.
we don't
Say something.
we don't want to do that.
Say something. All the time at the job,
You know what? That's I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise it. You know, so I'm saying, it's really important for us to make sure that we're communicating our feelings and our thoughts. And what I want us to do too is expect to get the result we want. Expect to get better. Don't expect that somebody's going to hurt our feelings.
That's what I said earlier. People tell the part all the way up until they stop. No, just say it.
Yeah.
We don't and nobody is always right. And nobody has all the answers.
Nobody.
But if you don't say everything, you won't know nothing.
That is such a really important point. I don't care who they are. And this is what happens a lot of times when people have been to prison. People that have come out of prison, they say, well, I don't know. And they don't want to ask a lot of questions or whatever. I don't want to, I don't want to bother nobody. Bother people. Yeah, bother people,
your
right?
Your feelings matter. Your things matter. Everything in your life matters too.
But the one thing I always try to encourage people that come home from prison to understand, whatever you don't know, there was a day.
I didn't know either.
That the person that knows didn't know either. There was a day that the person that knows didn't know either. Not knowing is not a crime. Not knowing is not a problem.
Not asking is the problem.
Not asking.
It's the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Ask the question. Ask for help. You always say that. Don't be, and Cheryl says it all the time, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Ask.
If you need help, ask for it. Knowledge works this way. If I know, I don't have no problem sharing it with you. I don't have a problem telling you what I know. If you ask me now, how do I get to my house? I can tell you which way you're going to go.
Out there, make it right.
Okay.
Make another right. 2 blocks down.
Right.
That's my house.
Right. I don't have a problem telling you that. Why? There's no reason that I would hide that from you. But oftentimes we don't, this is what it is, it's ego. That we don't want nobody to know that we don't know. And we think it makes us look less than because we don't know. But it doesn't. It doesn't make us look that. And again, people coming out of incarceration bother people. Go ahead and bother them. Be okay to say, no, I don't know that. I will tell you saying, I don't know. I was wrong. And I apologize are 3 things that set me free in a lot of ways. I don't have to, if I'm wrong and I just say, I was wrong about that. Ooh, it takes all the pressure off. What it does is it also doesn't allow people to use it as a club over my head, as a weapon against me. You can't weaponize that against me because I already told you I was wrong. And I meant that. And guess what? And how you'll know that I'm really sorry about it is my changed behavior.
It won't happen again.
It won't happen again. You won't have to tell me again. Because I'm not going to do that again, right? I'm not going to do it again. But being able to say, though, I don't know, and especially because I teach and I facilitate, it's very important for me to be able to say, I don't know. I don't want anybody that hears anything that I'm doing to think that I think I know everything. I know I don't know everything. Now, when I was a 14-year-old teenager, I knew everything then. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just face it.
We all did.
I knew everything at 14.
Everybody did.
Child didn't know nothing, right? But you couldn't tell me that at 14. But now, at this age, I'm telling you, I know I don't know everything. And I know a lot of shit. People around me will tell you, I know a lot of shit, but I don't know everything. And I would never want to make anybody believe that I know everything. And if you ask me something and I don't know, and I'll say, I don't know, maybe I'll tell you, but I'll find out. Or let's learn it together. Mm-hmm. I'll research it, or I'll ask somebody that I think knows. But what it does is it prevents me from having to lie. I don't like liars. I can't do liars. Mm-hmm. And that is one of the things that makes most people like, we don't like that. Don't lie to me. For me, it makes me feel like you insult my intelligence, like I'm not going to know. Like you look at me up and down, like in Bernie Mac's in his stand-up comedy when he said, when the little girl said, him downstairs said, and she looking me up and down like I'm small, we can't have no cookies and milk. And looking at me,
No, that's showing
When-
that you showing to me my feelings don't matter. And
well, you think I'm stupid.
Yeah, my feelings don't matter how I feel about what you're saying, but they do. That's the point I'm making. Your feelings matter. A lie will make you feel a certain kind of way. So once again, you make it like my feelings don't matter how I feel about what you're saying. Just tell me the truth or don't say nothing. Then it won't be nothing because you didn't say anything.
And I personally can handle the worst truth, I think, better than a lie, than a good lie. I think I'm way more built for because I've handled some horrible truths.
Because when somebody lies to you, trust me, you're gonna run it back, right?
Yeah.
Then they're gonna be looking at you like, what? Huh? Your brain like, oh, okay. All right.
Because a lie always gets exposed. That's another thing. Recognize that. It always gets exposed. You don't ever get away from it. It never stays there, and it never becomes the truth. Right. So it's really important for people to realize, you're not gonna tell a lie and get away with it. Not in a long-term relationship. And again, the things that I'm talking about when I suggest to you, when you feel something and you say something, is only in relationships that you want to keep. Because not everything we think needs to be said. But if you want to keep your relationship, when you feel like your heart is on the line, you feel like your feelings are on the line, for somebody you want to keep, tell them what you're thinking.
And every relationship ain't meant to be kept in.
How about that?
It's not.
Because guess what? If it's not supposed to be kept, what will happen is you will know that person is not for you. Isn't that the best thing to know sooner rather than later?
Yes. I raised my hand for 200, yes.
Okay,
I raised my hand for 200, yes.
Yeah. I want to know sooner rather than later that this relationship is not going to work. Yeah. How much more time do I want to invest in this before I find out this ain't working? Right? So at the end of the day, again, what's important is that we speak what our true feelings are. Tell the truth about where we are. Tell the truth about what matters to us, to those people that we love and we care for. And be willing to listen to what comes back. I can encourage you that more often than not, what's going to come back is what you really want. And by not talking, the danger you run is you run a danger of giving the other person the opportunity to fill in the blanks about what you meant or what you said or what you're thinking. So in that TV show Forever, they were so young and so sweet. And it was like, but you didn't say anything and you stopped calling me. Well, the young girl didn't know that his mom had took his phone so he couldn't respond to her. And then when they finally decided to connect, they just went with, oh, that's cool. Cool. It's like not saying anything about what they really felt when they really felt the same way for each other. Right. And you got it. And what happens is you're cutting yourself off from your good because you're too afraid to actually receive what it is, or too afraid to say what it is that you want. You got to first know who you are and know what you want. And then you got to be able to be willing to say so. If I need something from you in our relationship, I need to be able to tell you what I need. You will never know unless I say so. You can think you know.
I need my car wash. Stuff like that. I'll let you know.
She needs gas. She needs a car wash. Okay.
Right now.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we're caught up on what it is that she needs. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Right?
Yeah, you do. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, you do. You know what I mean? Effective,
right? We're friends here. We're family.
Okay. Effective communication.
Hello? In the store, like, hey, why you didn't tell me you was up there in front? Come on.
Okay. So we know what Di needs. Di needs gas and she need a car wash.
Right
Okay,
here.
okay, so that's where we at with it, okay?
Let y'all know.
I wanna go around and give folks an opportunity. Any thoughts in the peanut gallery?
High five.
Say, what you need?
Can you car wash too?
Yeah, car wash. Yeah, my God.
Did y'all hear
But
her?
you know what, I liked, like what you were saying, I always liked that principle.
Yes.
I haven't seen the bigger picture, I always like that. I think, I'm getting so much better. Because I always think somebody coming from me, they can't, 5 words out and I'm already,
On the defensive.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
so, I've gotten better. I let you speak.
Uh-huh.
But, I don't take so much personal. I still work on personal. But I always like to talk about the principle.
Just put it on your lap, just because it seemed like
Like,
now she going lower and lower, just because we got the microphone, she talking even lower. You know what I'm saying? She going even lower. Look, I just want to make sure they hear you because it's really relevant, right?
Yeah.
You know, the notion of talking and dealing with the principle is what she was saying, in case you didn't hear her. You gotta, that principle centered, it's gonna prevent you from, like you say, taking things personal. And it allows you to keep the main thing the main thing. Yes, listen before you react.
Mm-hmm.
Respond versus react, right? They're two different things,
High five.
right? So that makes a big difference too, is to
It
make
does,
sure that
because then
we're,
you know, maybe they weren't coming for you. Because people have their own opinion and they have the right to have it. It might not be,
your opinion.
yeah, or their truth and maybe not mine, but it's okay. You can feel the way the hell you want to feel.
Yeah. You gotta.
Right, and you have the right to feel what you feel, right? We don't
Right.
get to control what everybody thinks and feels. And it's not necessary. First, do you know how exhausting that would be? First of all, there's 4 women in this room right here. Do you know how many different personalities is in these 4 bodies? Are you kidding me? Trying to keep up with all of our personalities at any given moment on any given, oh my God, I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
Cheryl swears I'm a 10. I know I'm a 6.
Oh, she's talking about clothes. Oh. She keeps saying that too. Okay, so everybody got their opinion.
That's what I said. And that's what I said. And that's what I said.
So again, bottom line is that is a good thing, making the principle the thing that you focus on. It takes so much personality and taking it personal out of the equation. Because then you could, and also what it helps you to do is figure out, what should I be doing, right? How should I respond to this? How should I behave in this particular instance? That way, it's not about emotions, it's about what's really going on.
Yeah, if something happened today and so somebody, she made a decision and I came and turned around and I took that decision. And so we got in another place and she said to me, next time you do that, please say it to me, when we're not around others. And so my heart started beating because I said, I'm thinking, oh, you checking me? But as I just let the conversation keep going, I apologized because she was absolutely right.
Did you just ask me?
She was absolutely right. She was right. I should have pulled her
to the side.
Yeah.
Which brings up a really good point that I think we should all remember. And that's this. You can say almost anything to somebody in private.
Yes.
Almost anything.
Yes.
And get away with it. But the minute you do it in front of somebody, it totally changes the dynamic of what that is. So and as you talk to her, you understood, I should have said it in private and changed what it was. And especially if she had made a decision and now you changing that decision, and kind of overriding it, then it makes a big difference. But thank you, Ms. Roberta. That was just wonderful. That's lovely from our peanut gallery. I want to make sure our folks online, anybody wanna give any last comments or thoughts on the topic today? Just unmute and let me know.
I'll chime in with I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's just hilarious. Ooh, ooh. Okay, you okay,
no.
you know we don't advocate violence, D-Dub.
No, it's just, before I went in, I was passive and then eventually passive aggressive. So I would let things just boil up and not talk about it effectively and ruin relationships over it. And then the result is just damage beyond control, out of control damage, and then end up in prison mainly because of it. So like now I've learning new ways to communicate and trust people with my feelings and my opinions or thoughts, and just it'll work itself out. I feel like when things are ugly or whatever, it's somehow when you just talk about it, even though
Yes.
the feelings are still ugly, it'll work out. So I try to do that more often, and it's been working out.
That's awesome. I appreciate that because literally, that is
And it makes you feel better.
well, yeah, on top of that, right? And it also gets easier to do it the more you practice it. But when you, like I said a little while ago, is that if it's going to fail, if the relationship is going to fail, or the person that, let's say, think about the film, He's Just Not That Into You, right? If they ain't that into you, it's better to know than not know, right? Yeah. That gives you
force it,
right. Yeah, don't force it. Then you'll know, right? So at least, if nothing else, you learn from it, and you learn, and you can move on, right? But to try to squash it and hide it and don't say anything, that will only prolong what's already there.
Yeah.
Because eventually it's coming out.
Yeah.
Eventually it's gonna come, the truth is gonna come out. If she ain't that into you, DW, you're gonna know. Right? You're gonna know. It's gonna happen, right? Whatever that is, whatever's got her there, it won't last that long. So it's not the kind of thing that you need to try to fight to make it make sense, or to keep having it, when in reality it probably isn't going to last anyway. And the longer we have to hide our feelings, the more likely it is that it's going to end anyway, because we have been squashing what we feel. And then we get overwhelmed by the fact that we don't feel heard, seen, or valued in a relationship.
And that's why you shouldn't be afraid of your feelings.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of your feelings. I can't feel for nobody here, but I can only feel for me. So I can't be afraid of that.
Don't be afraid of the way
That's it. That's it.
feels.
I'm leaving. I'm
Okay.
leaving.
She's back.
She
Miss Roberta's back. Miss Roberta's back, D-Dub. Miss Roberta's back. The concert is live and in full effect, baby. The concert is live and in full effect. What can I tell y'all? What can I just tell y'all? Thank you, I think, Miss Roberta. Okay. We need to get some dollars. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We need to start. I'm not sure. It's just a thought. Maybe we need to bring dollars in. I don't know. We're just gonna see. We're gonna see what happens.
That's what everybody
thank you.
Like, don't be afraid of your feelings, because you have them for a reason.
And explore them.
Yeah.
Ask, but it's important to ask yourself why.
Yeah, talk to you
and find out what's going on with me.
Going on with you?
Right? I need to know what's going on with you, but what's going on with me.
Don't ask my neighbor.
That's some self-examination. Yeah, I've done a lot.
Yes, self-examination and examination and evaluation,
Yes.
right? Understand what's going on with me. And Miss Monica, we're gonna move on, sweetie. Anything you want to say? Last things you want to say, sweetie?
No, it was a great session. I enjoyed it.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Honey. And we'll have you here soon. Any last thoughts for you, Miss Di?
No, I just want to say, don't be afraid of your feelings, because a lot of people I've learned and been around more that I do. It seems like people are afraid of how their own feelings are, and they want somebody to tell them or fix them or show them they're yours. I can't do nothing about that.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of them. That's all I can tell you. Just don't be afraid of them.
So I'm grateful. Yes.
Noreen, what is that workbook? Where can I get it?
So this workbook is called Hurt People Highway. Let me
Uh-huh.
remove the pen here. I'm gonna show you Hurt People Highway, the workbook, and you can get it on Amazon. And
Okay.
it is, yep, and
And she has a book
along
too.
with the book, being honest, Monica, getting the book and the workbook, reading the
Mhm.
chapters in the book and doing the workbook really is the best way to get the most out of it. But the workbook is you can do it independently. You don't have to buy both. It's probably best if you do both, but you really don't have to. The workbook is incredible. And I want to say also that I started working this weekend on a questionnaire, and I'm going to create a workbook for children of people who were incarcerated.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I started working on that now. I get things by divine assignment, and it finally it started to come, and so we will see
You all right,
what
babe?
happens from here. You okay, love? Any
Oh,
final
yeah.
thoughts you want to have?
Yeah, I had something to say.
Okay.
You don't have to turn, oh.
Just leave it up there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's what Roberta,
Give me her final thoughts.
it's what Roberta was saying. We have to actually not take things personal. And it's like the four agreements, The third agreement is don't take anything personally. Or is that it? This the
Yeah.
second or third
Whichever
one?
one it is.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
don't take
It is.
anything personally. And I always tell Roberta, you had to really think about another person's life. Are they miserable? Are they going through something? The reason they're reacting the way they're reacting. And one time I was going into the unit when I was in Dublin, it was a girl in front of me, and I always use this example. It was a girl in front of me, a lady after her and me. The girl went in, opened the door, and let it close. And the lady turned to me and said, she could at least held the door. I said, but how do we know she didn't have a bad call at home this morning? Right? People go through their own lives.
And don't have nothing to do with you.
And yeah, it
Don't
has
have
nothing
anything
to
at
do
all
with
at
you.
all. Right.
And they can yell at you. One time
Yes.
when I was in Danbury, I yelled at this lady because she dropped the bowls on the floor and put them back on this thing. But I said, don't let this be an indicator as to how all Black people are. I said, but I have, what's that stuff when you have your cycle that I didn't know I had for a long time?
PMS.
I said, I got
Uh-huh.
PMS because I didn't know I ever had it till somebody told me.
Right.
So yeah, and you got to give people that, and don't react because they do. Let them be who they are, and you stay the same. Thank you.
That is so.
Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. So,
The
Thank
peanut gallery gets an A plus.
yeah, say that again, honey.
The peanut gallery gets an A plus.
The peanut gallery is awesome, aren't they? They're a little
Yes.
nutty, Monica. They're a little nutty, but that's
I don't think
okay.
Cheryl's nutty, to be honest with you.
You know Cheryl is a lot nutty, right?
No, she's not. I'm nutty. No, I'm.
Well, that's why nutty people hang together, and that's kind of why we're all together, right? And so we love that here at Free to Heal, and we encourage you check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and please leave us your comments, any topics that you want us to talk about. And by all means, check out the books on Amazon, Hurt People Highway, the workbook, and also 5 Steps to Personal Peace. And come back and join us next week. We'll see you then, you guys. Thank you.
Then have a good evening.
Bye.